Welcome, filmmakers, fans, and friends, to the Indie Cinema Showcase. I'm your host, John Theisen, and each episode, my partner in crime, Tim Anderson, and I will be here to bring you the best and brightest in local independent cinema. But more than that, we're here to bring you face-to-face with the men and women that help bring that cinemagic to life.
Did you just say cinemagic?
I think I did.
Whatever. Each show will kick things off with a short film or two that was created by a Florida filmmaker. Then John and I will offer our thoughts, reactions, and criticisms on the short. Now, look, I know there's some filmmakers out there who are like, hey, wait a minute, I made a feature film, what about me? No worries, guys. Later on, we're going to show the feature filmmakers some love too by running a trailer for an indie feature that was lensed in the area.
And after we show you our shorts, we'll welcome an industry guest, be that a writer, director, actor, special effects artist, or whomever. We'll bring them onto the show and discuss what's going on in the fast-paced world of independent cinema.
And finally, we'll wrap things up by answering some of your internet inquiries about the who's, what's, when's, why's, where's, and how's of making your own micro-budget masterpieces.
All right, guys, let's get things rolling with a thrilling short film about a newlywed couple who ends up at the wrong place at the wrong time. The film is entitled The Drifter and was directed by a local UCF film student named Craig Calamis. Hope you enjoy.
Longer for you think?
About 30 or 40 minutes. You?
About the same. I'm just leaving Fort Willem now. I should be meeting you right on time. So, are you excited to finally meet my parents?
Of course. So, are you going to show them the ring?
Well, we are making this trip, and God knows how long it'll be before we see them again.
Yeah, true. You know, I still don't know why they chose to have the wedding all the way out here.
You know, Kim, Mom and Dad bought all that property and can't let it go to waste.
Yeah, driving all the way out here seems like a waste. I hope there's good food, though. Hey, speaking of food, were we supposed to bring something?
No, honey, everything's taken care of. Make it there in one piece was my parents' only request.
Hi there. How can I help you? Hello. Is there something I can do for you? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? What can I do for you?
just...
What?
Babe, can you just repeat the...
Excuse me? Hello? Could you help me, please?
Sure. Name's Smith.
So, what do you do, Mr. Smith?
I travel.
Traveling, huh?
You have one unheard message.
Hey, babe, I stopped to use a phone, so try me on this number. The guy's name is Smith. He says if you stay on State Road 30, you'll get here. And he's been kind enough to offer to wait with me, so look for my car in his white Buick, okay? Love you.
It's a wonderful opportunity to let loose and be myself.
So that brings me to my original question. What do you do?
I'll show you. Only people kept to themselves. Always prying. Forcing me to come up with something new every time. If only people minded their own business. Yeah, he caught quite a glimpse back there. I saw him on the phone. Talking to you? Was he trying to warn you?
Lisa! Baby, it's okay, I'm here.
I know, it's a shitty way to go, but just think. You'll be a part of something greater. A notch on my belt.
Once again, that was The Drifter by director Craig Calamis. Now, each show, we like to give our thoughts from the popcorn gallery and offer feedback on the films we showcase, so, like we can give our audiences something to disagree with us about. So, John, what did you think about The Drifter?
Actually, Tim, we wouldn't have picked the film if we didn't think it was, of the caliber to show to our audiences, but I really, really liked it. The one thing I liked is the car chases, all of that aspect. That kind of stunt work is not something that a novice filmmaker would take on, so I really give credit to that.
No, the film looked fantastic, and like you're saying, really, short filmmakers are usually kind of pigeonholed into sort of dramatic stories, or if they have an action movie like in a Reservoir Dogs sense, maybe they set it in one location with very little major events occurring. But actually rig up, mounts on the car for cameras and set these guys off on basically a gigantic road chase. The logistics of that are just, they speak to the caliber of what Craig was trying to do with the short.
And as any indie, filmmaker knows, is miking sound outside, you're always going to have trouble. And the sound was impeccable on this film. So, it's a real testament to the film school and what Craig has been doing as a filmmaker himself.
Yeah, it's a very exciting movie, shot on location in Claremont, Florida. Craig's a UCF student, so kudos to Craig. It was really, really great. I really liked it.
When we come back from the break, we'll be talking with UCF film professor Randy Finch about the role of the film school in today's modern world of indie filmmaking. Stick around. Welcome back. Since on ICS we want to do more than just show movies to our audiences, this episode we're excited to have with us Randy Finch, UCF professor and all-around production guru. Thanks for being with us, Randy.
Thanks for having me.
So Randy, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to UCF Film School.
I was speaking at a film festival several years ago when the chair of the department approached me and asked me if I was interested in teaching. And I was actually thinking about teaching. I'd come from a background of film producing and theater producing, but the opportunity to work in a program where they were starting a graduate program where students were going to write, direct, produce their own feature-length films was really exciting. So I jumped and haven't looked back. I've really enjoyed it.
Randy, can you tell me a little bit about your current role at UCF?
I teach in the undergraduate and graduate programs at UCF, and we have several hundred students there doing everything from looking at movies, analyzing movies, but also there's a lot of production work that goes on. The undergraduates make what we call capstone films and a variety of short films, and the graduate students make feature-length films that go out to film festivals and hopefully to distribution around the world.
So Randy, nowadays, buying film equipment, for the weekend warrior, the people who are trying to do this, is it still a necessity to go to film school anymore?
There are a variety of different programs out there. Some train you on what they call professional quality equipment that you probably can't afford yourself. The RED camera is a $20,000 digital camera, and the film cameras can be even more expensive. UCF's program is unique. We try and train students to work on the micro-budget level with cheaper equipment. And candidly, our emphasis isn't on the equipment, it's on the storytelling skills, it's on learning how to write, and then also how to market and distribute your movie. And we also give you some help in financing it. Not that we give you the money, but we give you the training about how to go to investors and raise the money to make your movies. So our education pulls from a variety of disciplines. Students take classes in the business school about writing a business plan to get money. They take courses in marketing and distribution, working in conjunction with the Florida Film Festival and figuring out how to use film festivals to get your movie out there. So it isn't only about equipment, it's about the concepts and the ideas that go along with making movies.
Can you, at UCF, can you still specialize in cinematography or producing tracks?
The undergraduate program has 2 tracks. There's the cinema studies track where you learn to analyze and synthesize, and it's a lot like being a literature student in the English department where you look at the classics and you figure out how they were made. But there is a limited access production track where students write, shoot, direct, produce their own movies. Within that program, everybody gets the same degree, but students do specialize. If they like to work with camera, then maybe they'll operate on all the student films, that sort of thing.
Now, Randy, did you go to film school? And if not, I mean, I guess you wish that you had, or were there things that you wish that you would have, I guess, found out through that avenue?
No, I actually started college wanting to do theater and dropped out of college to work in show business. And after about 1.5 years of starving as an actor, I went back to get a degree, and my degree's in psychology, undergraduate degree is psychology. But because I'd been out for a couple years trying to make it in show business, I knew a lot of people in the theater and worked with students and was sort of a bridge between the professional community and the student community while I was an undergraduate working on plays and student films. And we had a lot of success early on with off-Broadway plays, and I still wasn't getting into the movie business. I was getting to be 30, so I went to law school, realizing that a lot of the things I'd been doing in the theater involved negotiating deals, and I was dealing with people who had had a legal training, and my strength in show business seemed to be in the deal-making side of it.
Sounds like you did everything but go to film school. You took the backdoor approach on that.
Yeah, and candidly, even getting into teaching, it was because I was dumb luck that we got into con, but subsequently I've worked on a lot of festival films and been going to film festivals, been on panels, and people started asking me to moderate panels. And I realized that this function of sort of explaining the film business to people was something I enjoyed. I've done a lot of guest lecturing, but I was actually a producer and pretty much a full-time producer when Steve asked me to start thinking about teaching. And he wooed me with this idea of you can make a movie for under $50,000 with the new technology, and there are ways of getting it out there that don't involve going to the major distributors and relying on them to distribute your movie. You can do it yourself. So we're trying to be pioneers in this emerging way of distributing movies.
Yeah. That brings me to a good point. UCF offers a really kind of unique grad program. Can you tell us a little bit about what the design of that program is?
Yeah, I think it's still unique in the country that students come to our school after an undergraduate education wanting to make a feature-length movie, and we take them through the entire process. It involves writing, casting, putting together a crew, raising the money themselves. We don't give them the money, but we show them the tools they're going to need if they're going to go out and do it subsequently. Then they actually shoot the movie while they're students, often using student crews, but sometimes pulling from Valencia, which has a great 2-year program for the technical trades in filmmaking, and also using professional crews. And then they edit in our program on our equipment, and we give them the last year is basically focused on marketing and distribution and finishing your film. So they get the whole ride, and then at the end, after they graduate, they go out into the world with a finished film. We have a number of graduates. Laura Lopez premiered her graduate thesis film at the Shanghai International Film Festival just a couple months ago. It's the 3rd biggest festival in Asia. It's a major deal. And Daneau has premiered his film at the Florida Film Festival earlier this year. these students, you know, in their mid-20s have achieved something that's really difficult to get done without the sort of support you get from our program.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, thanks again for being with us and sharing your insights with us. We wish you all the best in the film program and continued success.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Bye.
To find out more about the UCF's film program and all that it offers, visit film.ucf.edu.
And as the professor heads back to class, we're going to take a look at this week's feature. This trailer comes from former UCF grad student Danny Daneau. It's entitled The Attic Door.
I think they're gonna get home today. We need help. Something is happening. We would never make it alive.
Now, since we're not just here to show you all some fancy moving pictures and listen to ourselves talk, we're going to try to impart some wisdom with our Fun Facts segment, presented by greenroomorlando.com.
These facts are sent in to us from the wild world of the internet. This episode's question is from Mary. Dear ICS, I'm looking to buy my husband a camcorder for his birthday so he can make more than just home movies of me and the kids. I have no clue where to start or what to look for. Can you help me narrow down my choices? John, what do you think?
Well, instead of giving Mary some specifics as far as actual cameras, what I would suggest is really looking at your surroundings. If you're going to be partnering or collaborating with other people in your community, I would check with what your local film school have. Because for instance, a few years ago, the Canons, that was everybody had. Then a few years later, all the film schools had Sonys, and now I believe they have Panasonics. So if it's not just you by yourself making movies on your own, I would just check to see what the industry standard in your local areas, so then when you're collaborating with your fellow filmmakers, you can actually better sync up your cameras and partner in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things you really need to consider as you look into what is considered to be a prosumer camera, or the industry term, is that the camera should have 3 chips, which allows you to shoot at closer to a film frame rate, and it should have an external microphone adapter so that you can get better sound quality. I think John would agree with me that sound and picture are key.
And you know, it's up to the crew. I mean, you're never going to get top quality with just one man and one camera, but it's something to build off of, and that's why the collaborators in any film are so important.
If you want to be part of our Fun Facts segment, you can submit your questions by visiting the ICS link on greenroomorlando.com. If you ask us a question that we can't answer, you know, we'll fake it. Now, it's time for my favorite segment of the show, Films to See Before You Die.
Now, are you looking for something a bit off the beaten track to check out late at night? Well, each episode, Tim and I pick a couple of DVDs that might have slipped past your radar, but that we think you absolutely need to feast your eyes on. Tim, what's your pick of the week?
My choice, since this is the Indie Cinema Showcase, is Kevin Smith's debut film, Clerks. It just came out a couple years ago in a 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition on DVD. With tons of documentary footage. But I think the thing that indie filmmakers should take away from Clerks is that this is a movie that Smith shot on 16mm film with borrowed equipment and loose ends, which means he basically didn't pay for the film stock that he shot the movie with. He shot the entire film for $27,000, took it to the American Film Market Showcase, and picked up a producer's rep on the movie, and eventually sold the movie to Miramax. And I think it made about $3.5 million on its theatrical run, which is an incredible rate of return on a $27,000 movie. Totally shot guerrilla style.
And obviously he's gone on to much bigger and better things, but it all started out as an indie film, and obviously 10th year anniversary. We're well beyond that 10th year now.
Absolutely.
But Kevin Smith is definitely where a lot of it started for most of us. My pick of the week is actually the Coen brothers film Miller's Crossing. I was going to pick their first film, Blood Simple, but I figured any film student probably should have seen that. But this is one maybe you haven't heard of. Now, the Coen brothers have been in the awards. A lot of the cult people know about The Big Lebowski, Fargo. Obviously, No Country for Old Men was their last kind of big award film. Well, this is a little bit more an obscure one. It stars Gabriel Byrne, and it's more of an Irish gangster film with a little bit of their dark comedy sensibility sent into it. And this film really, really inspired me to pick up the camera myself, really got me engaged by different ways of storytelling. So that's my DVD pick of the week.
Absolutely. Miller's Crossing is an awesome film, and you should definitely check it out. And those are our films to see before you die.
Well, that's all, folks. We want to thank all of you out there in TV land for joining us, and we also want to thank Randy Finch for dropping by to share his film school insights with us, as well as thank our segment sponsors.
We hope you learned something new, saw something you loved, or got inspired to get off your couch and go make a movie of your own. Maybe it'll be even good enough for us to screen on the next Indie Cinema Showcase.
But until then, we want to say to all you current and upcoming filmmakers, peace, love, and positive reviews.